And, well, we'll start with a little bit of cool and calm and a bit of a ski chalet. We'll see. Oh, yeah, that was kind of expected.
That is... That's very one-sided.
Well, one-sided or not, we're about to hit the slopes on our first map of Chalet.
Oh, here we go.
At this point, what do? Where's your band's head at here?
Well, Chalet, I don't mind it. I think it's a pretty different map than kind of what we're used to seeing in the meta whenever you're dealing with maps like Labs and Lair and Club, where they're pretty big. It's all about opening walls. I mean, when do you ever really see the external hard breachers come into play? Well, in the basement, that's really it. This is much more of a map where you're focused on your crossfires. How well can you cut off players in towards top fireplace? Obviously, the window gameplay over towards the piano windows, that whole little balcony. Yeah, that's going to be quite a point. I think it's just a very heavy utility dump map. You know, you think about like a bar and games hold, that utility dump going over towards blue stairs. So you're expecting operators like your Grim. Yeah, Thatcher makes a ton of sense, because Thatcher, obviously, straight away you think, oh, that's going to be great to get rid of the cage of the bandits. But no, in terms of being able to pick off bits of util, like your Runegates, like your ADS systems, anything that's going to, obviously, work electronically, you can just counter that straight away. So yeah, I think the Thatcher's a really good pick.
Well, let's waste no more time and get our heads in on towards the start of this. Now, there is the point here where you start to make worrying comments. The worrying comments of it's day 2, your first play day. You don't have to scratch that off, but you don't want to sort of stay thinking about it. Weibo, if they can get this one locked in, if they can get themselves a second 2-0, I mean, at this point, I think they're definitely out of the group stage. They're sort of locked in. You can make the decision quite early. They want to keep pushing because they know M80 is coming for them.
Yeah, and also don't forget, you're playing for the first then. You're playing for the first place, and then you get a little bit of a skip into that top bracket.
I think we always knew there was going to be a competition between those two teams.
Yeah, I mean,
Weibo and M80.
I think Weibo is actually a very heavily underrated team.
Oh, massively.
I think people forget how consistent this team has been over the past number of years. Last year they were here. It was under Team Joel, the fish.
Yeah, we all remember the fish. I think I can't remember the name of the fish, but
it was Joel. Oh. That's why it's called Team Joel. And
but
it was a picture of the fish.
And then there was the man, the mannequin. Do you remember the mannequin?
No.
They had a mannequin. I can't remember what event it was. Okay, yeah, they definitely did. I'm not crazy.
Well.
There was a mannequin because Milos interviewed the fish and the mannequin.
I don't know. I just remember the fish.
I think it was Atlanta. It was Atlanta.
That is
Thank you. I think that was the Observer Sky, I believe. Yeah. Had a little bit of Aussie. But no, it wasn't. At this point, they've got themselves in on towards and looking for the first fight here. Just onto the back of the bar. The stock fight as the Shield tries to push his way up.
Yeah, look at this hold coming in from FearX. It's a full extension for a top floor. They're not only just trying to hold in towards bar, but also in towards kitchen. And I mean, this is where the Shield is great at just being able to pinch these roamers. And you just look at this setup. Look how separated the players of FearX are. Nobody's together. And that means there's going to be no trades. And look at this, a 5v3 after a minute.
I mean, Arpe just sort of cleaned and waited for that situation. We already talked a lot about Rin yesterday. If you're unaware of Rin's playstyle, it'll be, I'm going to find a fight and hope for the best. It's a confidence, but unfortunately, sometimes it snowballs into a problem. Here, went to try and get the revenge for the death of Mephi, but they've lost the Solace. They've lost that control underneath. Now the Shields can sort of just turn face. Yeah. They've got 3 of them on the site. They don't really have to worry right now with the pressure coming up behind because they've done such a good job going on a bit of an adventure, hoping to get somebody that might not be paying enough attention, but it's just a Shield watching. They're not leaving anything to chance here, Weibo.
Yeah, all they need to do is clear half wall and they're in pretty much. The only issue is just coated. So it is down to him to make the play. But I think with this Monty bearing down on him, it's going to be very tricky. However, I believe Speakeasy, yeah, he's been killed by the smoke, and then Coded has had a swing out the door and taken out Ape.
Okay, maybe they aren't taking things slow instead. As they instantly lose 2 people and bring us back level. Blind on the inside, trying to get a lucky kill on the back, and there's Reaps finding Woogieman. Gets themselves a second and brings a bit of comfort to it as the spray across the smoke covers the piano side. They've got the hop in towards the top of Ivy, but nobody's really driving in as of yet. There's the rotate cutoff. They're hoping they can just isolate the kit, isolate half of the site, get it in the bedroom, and put the pressure on. Just misses the player, but he's outside and caught out. Reaps for his 3rd. almost walks into a teammate's grenade, and good boy, a sliver of health is instantly removed.
Yeah, that was a really well played 3v2. And yeah, a little bit of a wobble there. The Monty obviously dying and then Coated getting his kill over towards the single door. What really impressed me was the management and the adaptation. So obviously Weibo know, okay, the guy inside of office, that's the danger man. That's who we need to kill. We need to find Coated. What's the best way to do that? Oh, let's isolate him where he's by himself. And how did they do that? They rotate a man onto big window. They use the Capital to keep the other teammate at bay inside of bathroom, and then they can isolate Coated in a 1v2 scenario. And they do not allow his teammate to get the trade. Very well done to Weibo. Great start.
Strong start, and see how they mean to carry on. Obviously, Weibo, as we said before, they got their win yesterday. They got it in 2-0 fashion. They got themselves that current top of the group, and with M80 off to play their first game today, well, I guess we'll find out how the group sort of looks at the end. But this is a game that I guess from those sort of levels is a bit of a must-win, I think, for the side of Weibo. They want to make sure that they compete with everybody.
Yeah.
The problems that I think FearX suffered from yesterday against Heretics won't be as easily punished by Heretics against Weibo.
Yeah, another thing as well with Weibo, they've always been a top APAC side. You know, whenever it comes to them facing other APAC teams, they usually come out on top. So this is always a good matchup for Weibo if they're against someone else in their region. So, yeah, I think it's going to be difficult for FearX, to really break them down. And the thing about Weibo, everyone played well yesterday in their team. And I think that gives a massive boost knowing that somebody didn't walk away from that thinking, I need to step my game up. They're thinking, yeah, everyone done their job. We got all of the points. We took the 2-0. Now we roll on to tomorrow.
Now, that opening engagement last round was very well hunted. Found the Solace, realized what she wanted to do, and said, I'm not having any of that. Sent the shield in, which was kind of uncontested, to be fair, on main. Here, it looks like they know they want to do the same thing on the bottom west main. And it doesn't look like Coated wants to stick around and see what happens next. Has already slipped their way back in towards the kitchen. They know that they cannot give those body advantages, those little closed-down opportunities towards Weibo, who will just encircle, trap, and then drop them and rock them out. There's still work being done. They're clearing little portions of the map, little pockets, little bits of space. They can now try and route their way up if they wanted to.
Well, you see the Amaru downstairs inside a wine, and well, that could only mean one thing. The Gara hook up through the sight hatch in towards dining, so I think that's going to be the play. And whenever you're going for those kind of sneaky plays where you want to try and catch them by surprise with a very niche operator pick, the best way to do so is just kind of crab around the map. Use your operators like Dokkaebi's.
Here we go.
And then go for it.
Here we go. The flashes are in. The zip is up, and he's off to the races. There's one. He's looking for the second, but he can't quite get it. In the meantime, though, everybody else got demo.
It's my kind of siege.
Your kind of siege?
This is what I'm talking about. This is it. Play reckless. Take the risk. That'll never work again. We know that'll never work. They can't do that again in this tournament, but it's good for the one round.
Well,
love it.
2-0 and very different pace. To be fair, actually, okay, as we go into a timeout, we'll obviously get the team having an early conversation. It's sort of this, as I was making the illumination on, slow and steady from the start. They're looking for those close downs. If they can get them trapped, they will do that. They will sort of put the pressure on and everything. But then on the other side, that was quick, that was pacey, that was aggressive.
Oh, good start, really good start. I mean, I think whenever you kind of see that playstyle from Weibo, where obviously it is quick, you're looking for that pocket play, the best way to kind of go about that is just try and create space in other areas of the map. Try and pull people out of position, and that's kind of what they did. You know, they were able to pull people to kind of look towards West Main. That's where a lot of the pressure was coming in from.
Yep.
Well, that's what they thought. That's where the pressure was coming in from, was towards West Main. And because of that, they're not facing towards dining. That's the last thing you're going to believe is, oh, what happens if an Amaru comes up the hatch? Because you don't think like that.
No.
You know, that's not the way you go about life.
No.
You know, I don't sit there in my room thinking, what happens if an Amaru came through my window?
What happens?
What happened?
What happens if Oryx just runs through a wall?
Exactly.
Oh, except Oryx is less useful
What
as an operator.
happens if Intero stops wearing turtlenecks? What happens?
What happens if Intero cuts his hair?
Oh.
Oh.
Bad things. Whoever cuts that hair, I'll tell you.
I remember.
What happens if Jesse deletes his spreadsheet?
Oh, I wouldn't want to. Jesse, if you're listening, that will never happen. Jesse will never do that.
Wait till I see that laptop unattended. I'll be in there.
No. As if he doesn't have like 30 backups. He's got a server running.
I actually threatened him with it last night. Saying, I'm going to delete your spreadsheet. He goes, I've got backups at home.
Of course he does.
Nerd!
I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. We talk about video games for a living.
Yeah, but he does stats.
All right, okay. Taking the vertical control here. Obviously, the timeout hasn't changed the idea of rotating sites. They're keeping themselves moving through the map, keeping themselves mobile and active, and hoping that they can maybe offer something more on towards the third site.
Well, I can only assume that the timeout would be, guys, play more together, because I feel as though a lot of the kills that are coming in for Weibo, it's just one guy, and then there's nobody else from FearX to get the trades.
Now they're worried about someone trying to make their way down Solarium stairs, and with a bit of damage done either side, it's Hoven that gets Good Boy, and, well, he wasn't trying to go down the stairs, but he definitely wasn't going to survive in the bedroom. Cut off at the pass. There's one more ping. Look, they just moved the shield round, right? They've got the player on the double window. They've got the watch on Solarium windows. This player is now isolated. If he tries to rotate out, he's probably going to find nothing, but there is trades elsewhere. Woogieman gets Hoven. Reaps gets coded. The hop out gets the follow through Rin. He's on a bit of a journey, a bit of a march. Woogieman's offering cover, but they'll probably try and watch the verticality. That's the position they're getting in. What is going on? Get in the building. Baited him outside and slips away. Mephi is able to get Speakeasy in the midst of this, but what a wild goose chase Rin just led them on.
Yeah, I mean, this is clinical here from FearX, and that's the kind of plays that they can go for where it is massively high risk. That play, Claymore, and he's gone.
He's gone.
But that is the risk that they take, and whenever your back's up against the wall, you're 2-0 down, you need to start getting out there and being brave.
I thought it was the way he stayed out there a little bit longer as well. He opened the window and then went back, so he forced them to have to go outside and look for the kill, and then he's like, okay, they're not watching the verticality. Now I can go back in and try and escape, and just great bait. There's still 50 seconds left. Turd and Arpe could try and piece themselves together here and get a bit more of a take. If they can isolate one of these players, well, look at where they are. You've got one bottom of blue, ready to try and swing up the stairs if they go for the corridor. One above who could hit the hatch. And there needs to be a lot of pressure. There needs to be a lot of burn. They only have one flashbang left between the pair of them, and then obviously one on the back line on the stock side. So, instead, Turd accidentally.
I've seen that. It happens way too often. There's people just dropping hatches by accident. Realistically now, Emmy, they just need to try and just pinch somebody. And this is they're looking for the individual engagement. They know he's in this corner. Now it's just about trying to get the kill.
And they've got to hop in. I mean, Premonition knew he was going to be swung on. Did go for it, but look at the time here, Demo.
Yeah, good trade.
And there's Rin. So he's always looking for a fight. Woogieman gets Arpe, and FearX get their first round.
Yeah, better from FearX. You know, that play, jumping out that window, being brave. Better trade there from Rin, knowing that his teammate's going to get pinched. That's being fed through the comm channel. And then he's there, ready for that kill. And yeah, whenever it comes down to 10 seconds, you know, not a lot that Weibo can really do about that. Obviously, Turd not ready for that engagement. And yeah, FearX get themselves back into this game. I will say, though...
Monty?
Yeah, well... No. Well, I think, yeah, the Doka beat on Chalet, specifically. I don't think Monty's that good on Chalet. I think he's okay.
No, he's not good.
Fantastic.
But it just felt like FearX was struggling on how to meet him at first.
Just bring in the Oryx.
All right. Do you ever sit there and think about an Oryx running through your wall?
No, that's what I'm trying to say. You don't think about that. Look, I think whenever it comes to Chalet as well, don't forget, this is supposed to be attacker-sided. Yeah. I always think 4-2, attacker splits, and Chalet, pretty common. So FearX are halfway there to a normal half.
I mean, they've got themselves set up at least on one of these sites, but this is where we look at the problems. And before, it very quickly turned into a 5 versus 3. That did become a 3 versus 3, but you think about those entry kills. I'm not going to say that they were super easy to get.
No, you can say that.
Okay, they were quite easy to get. And that's the problem, right? They need to try and find a way to complicate that factor without also just giving Weibo big portions of the map, because Weibo will take them.
Yeah, I think they just spread themselves too thin. You know, it's you've tried to spread on your toast just the one knifeful of butter. That's not going to cut it. You need to go back for the double scrape.
Really cold butter as well.
And
really
whenever
hard.
it's too thin, you're not going to be able to cover everything. And that's the issue. You know, they try to hold on too much, and Monty just comes in and says, Nobody gonna, help you?
wanna
Okay,
have
I'll
fun?
kill you.
Well, now we've got at least 2 players, if not 3, on towards the side currently, but it seems like one's playing the rotate. Early pressure down towards Good Boy inside games and billiards, and, well, the check from the line as well. But look, the positional difference here. Instead of being on the back line on towards the stock side, move towards the stairs, can rotate their way up white, can get themselves to freedom, can get themselves a support structure quicker. Yes, you have windows, you've got to try and slip your way past, but still, you can't be cornered as you were before. Here as well, they have somebody still below that might have just been missed on the drone. There's that sort of positional player. I think it's Woogie Man is just lurking and skulking around. Yep, and at this point as well, it's just, as you said, they have the support structure.
Yeah, nobody's actually in the building. And there's a minute gone on the side of Weibo. Everyone just kind of sit and wait for the kind of picks to hopefully appear. But
here's an execute.
FearX, are we going to move or are we just going to sit in the hands?
Well, they're throwing themselves in. They've got the sense gadgets to try and roll out. The fire to cut the sort of cross in a fight as they mistimed it. Good Boy gets caught, but Coated catches Speakeasy in response to 4 versus 4. And don't know what that was, just to cover, actually. The swing round from the top of the window. The cross is a little bit safer now. Arpe finds Woogie Man, and now they're in the building proper. Off to the races. They have that player from underneath. But a minute 22 and some scrap damage done to the man on the second story. Can't quite get it, but Mephi gets turd on the fadeaway.
Diffuser.
Rin. He's trying to cross the path. As you said, the diffuser dropped outside the balcony by the bathroom side, which means that, yes, it has some gadget cover, but still, you got to go get it, recollect it, and still have the cover put together as the teamwork. There's the throw. There's the drop on himself. Arpe, underneath, dug up and ripped the floorboards out from the base of Rin. With only a smoke canister done, it's just a C4 and a pocket barbed wire and a Rooney gate, but I don't think those are going to do too much, Demo.
Need to get the kit. That is the main issue. Need to have that in hand now. If Mephi plays it well, he could just try and jiggle peek off that same window that he killed Turd from, but actually going to go and try and challenge onto the player in big window. No, doesn't get the angle, and that will make himself known. Get the diffuser, jump in for the windows. That's going to be the wing gun here. It's free, but Coated steps up the wrong time. I think Reach knew he was there anyway. Now Mephi in such a difficult position, doesn't make it happen. Another strong round from Weibo. And I have to highlight that little play from Turd, using the sense to block off that window. I love seeing that. That's always the danger window. That is always the issue. If you want to play in bedroom or play in the bathroom, play on the piano, that window, which is called, I believe we call it 51 window.
51 window?
Yeah.
Why'd you call it 51 window?
I don't know. It just is. I think a crossover from Oregon used to be a window on Oregon called 51.
I've heard it as Ivy window.
Yeah, I've heard that as well. Or blue window.
Or blue window.
But it's just,
It's a window.
it's the window.
It's just call it window. I mean, the timing on that is just, that's siege timing. You could see, obviously, how quickly swapped to the other angle. They had intel. They had an idea of where those remaining 2 players were, and it just shows you again how close it can get.
Must say that the pace of the rounds from Weibo has been so fast.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they are set up, ready to execute within a minute. That's very impressive.
For the first time today, we're cooking in the kitchen. Oh, no, in fact, we're not. We've already cooked in the kitchen. We're instead going to go and eat a snowmobile. Don't recommend
I'm not
it.
going to question what you do in your spare time.
Don't recommend
I never
it.
do.
Well, okay.
You know, the
wait.
wine cellar is right there.
I know, and I worked that out after.
And that would be way more up your street.
So early. Yeah, I should have made a comment about wine. And Turd isn't going to make a comment at all. Because Coat is just peeked with the Tachanka from deep. Where was that even?
He walked up the snowmobile and he just sprayed him in through the connector wall, I believe.
Oh
you can see the connector wall's all shot out.
Okay, fair enough. Waited, anticipated, and hoped for the fight. Coated's now peeking double door as well. Coated is outside peeking with the Tachanka still, I believe. Oh, no. Who
Who are you looking at?
Oh, okay. Look at the top down and tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
top
sorry.
Top down tricks you sometimes.
Sorry, we have a secret second monitor that you're not allowed to look at. No, I've just made 2 mistakes. This round isn't my round. You know?
Get yourself a coffee.
Yeah. Oh, wine. I'm wearing a beret today. I feel so Parisian.
Oh, well, I mean, it's the IQ. It's not the end of the world in terms of operators to lose. And there we go. The kill comes back in favor of Hoven. I will say, I feel as though that some of these kills, Weibo haven't really had to earn. It just gets that vibe where FearX, I think, are just peeking into a lot of these exterior angles. I mean, I mentioned it in the last round. Everyone loves just sitting outside on Chalet, and you know, that's how the map plays, though. You will just sit and hold crossfires.
Well, talking about people that haven't really been able to do anything, Good Boy, 0-5. Obviously, has been the secondary shot caller for the team. Can get himself on towards the cams, gets himself those aspects, but he's not really had a great end of his siege year. Started stage 1, best rated player in his region, and since then, just unfortunately drifted further and further away, so he's probably going to want to start to ignite sooner rather than later. As the soft work is done, they obviously have a Goyo canister they can try and pop, but things are becoming a little bit more dangerous, where they can sit, where they can stand, and where they can hang.
This will be the next obstacle, getting past the Tachanka with the shield, and the Flores is able to get rid of the shield, and it just puts Tachanka in a position where now he kind of has to make his pick. Does he want to play guns up and wait for him running in because he doesn't have that cover anymore of the shield? But still, just every now and again, I think he's just going to pop them all and just try and burn the time down, but they're not going to have enough for that. And oh, there goes the Goyo. So this is going to have to be, once that Goyo dissipates, he's going to have to put the shield on his back and sprint through and hope that he can get into the plant position beside the wine barrels.
Well, there's the spray on the Tachanka, and it's just an expectation. They're off towards the plant location, and now, with the Tachanka down, with the coverage from the verticality, there is no way to stop this going off. We're in a post-plant as they're causing damage inside the site itself. Rin gets one, but they've got to retake the verticality and try and strong-arm their way past the Monty. What do? They're panicking a little bit, trying to rotate within the site, up and around blue itself. But they have to try and put the pressure here, above. There's this player tucked around on the side, gets what is, finally an easy pickup, but there's the trade out. 2 versus 2, the vertical is locked. So now, bit of a flat fight, but Reap still has this power position from long. In fact, changes it up a little, goes for the close angle. They've got to cover the distance. There's a Monty, there's some fire, and there's no more fire to be had. The smoke canister will buy them some time, but they can actually get the down on the Monty. They're going to go for it. Can they hold it in time? Takes the damage, goes for the spray, finally finds it! I mean, held his breath, but luckily, he had a bit to spare.
Do you think before he ran into that smoke, he went,
oh, 100%. I would.
Weibo, look, close, but the main thing is getting that diffuser down on that bomb site. Yeah, it's a really difficult post-plant. Obviously, the way that Weibo went about it is a little bit different than what the norm is. And that's because they actually went upstairs and they did a bit of vertical work. And that's actually the lesser option. Teams will just try and play direct.
Yeah.
They'll just try and open up trench wall. They'll open up the long angle, and they'll just walk in and plant. They're not really worried about vertical. And I think the issue with going for the vertical way of thinking is, yes, it's going to benefit you massively, as we've seen the Ram was able to clear out the wine cellar and push them very deep, either into blue or towards the snowmobile stairs. Which is actually what happened to the smoke. The smoke could never find a safe position where he could sit and use his toxic canisters. That's why he had so many in the late stage, because he couldn't use them to stop the plant. But the risk with going upstairs and using the vertical is what happens if you get retaked. You know, we know Chalet is a big map, a lot of staircases, and if you lose that vertical, that could play against you. So there is the pros and cons list, as I like to say. But if you can lock down those staircases and can stop the roamers from trying to retake the verts, it's very, very powerful, as was shown.
4-1 at this point, and you also look at the fact that you have all the delay that they had, and Weibo played it very well in just forcing them out. They knew that Tachanka was going to be there. The smoke was pushed further and further back. They got rid of the shields with the Flores. They sort of just took that game away from them, and you know, it can be used in a retake, but nowhere near as better as just delaying it. There's Steel, Woogieman, looking for his own engagement here. A slow burn through, and they know they're being watched and sort of paid attention to, but it just makes this threat, right? It creates a bit of phantom pressure.
Straight away, whenever I see a Maverick in a bar in games, I'm thinking, get the Maverick up in towards these staircases that Woogieman's on, and you just draw a line right through the connector wall and stop anyone playing inside of the site. So that is obviously something that should be known. If you are FearX, if they have the Maverick, they can go for that place. You need to be careful.
Now with the Blackbeard getting themselves set up and ready to, just miss the first person that slides on by. They have this awareness. They have the position of the player inside blue. They're going to see if they can try and just root them out. But think of the time that Woogieman has wasted in this position, right? He's been aware of this pressure from the wall, of this pressure from Snowmobile, of this place that they're going to try and build themselves behind. And will they finally be able to execute upon it? No, they've missed the chase demo.
Again, slow and steady for Weibo, and this is just the way that they're playing the Chalet. Again, all of them outside, just waiting for the crossfire, waiting for the 3-2-1 call, and then they all move in at the same time, and they just collapse in their opponent. So, again, until they're set up, until they're ready, we can hear the util dump on the other side of the map, and this is what I mean with the crossfires. Hoven downstairs, holding roamers at bay, while everything else is going on the other side of the map. They're looking for those pinches. They're looking to catch them by surprise.
This has been the longest that everybody's been still alive, though, and surprise probably might be that, oh, suddenly we're in the final minute demo. Final minute, you're going to go for this quick rush bit of motion, but it only takes one thing to slip out, and, well, here is that chance for that bit of motion. There's the first sort of smoke they've come face to face with from the side of the shield, but Oven gets coded. There's the go. There's the catch. Good boy. Has the cover onto the window position, but the plant is being secured. Currently in the corner.
C4.
They're going to go for the C4, throw it close, but he's not in the right position. There's the shotgun. There's the follow through, though. Mephi and Good Boy drive their way in. They're able to pick up a couple of these kills, get themselves locked in, and from this point onwards, they're sort of building hope, right? 20 seconds, as I said. This is when you get to that worry. This is when you get to the swing outside. Woogie Man finds Arpe. Is the last going to be found? Turd does get Rin, but it's 7 seconds demo. I can't see this going well.
Again, I've told you, get that crystal ball out of here. Can't keep predicting what's going to happen.
I'm sorry.
Ugh.
I'll throw it to a side.
Yeah, good from FearX. Good reaction whenever that plant was going in. Straight on the ball. The C4 went in. Did you notice where the Blackbeard planted? On an elevated position in the corner. So the kind of default plant right beside the half wall, the kind of wall bit. That C4 is not going to connect. But straight away, he clocked that. I said, hang on, that guy's not dead. He's still planting. Swings with the shotgun, gets the kill just in the nick of time. And then as we know, on a map like Chalet, whenever I've mentioned, it is massive in the util dump. Once you've dumped all your util and the plant didn't go down, you're not going to get a chance for a replant.
No. But it's also the same with the defenders, right? They had that C4. It was the fact that they swung around on the back of it. They made sure that the util, though it wasn't itself successful, was still part of the take, part of the pressure. They just needed to stop that plant, and they did, and you know, the trade game came together. 4-2. You said 2 attacks, or two defenses, sorry, is what they want. But how they positioned themselves as a team yesterday was, I think, they struggled on their attacks, especially in the latter 2 games.
Yeah, I think that is also a fair assumption. Obviously, whenever we kind of look at FearX as a team, defense has been where they've had most of their success.
Yeah.
Attacks, I mean, yesterday, whenever it came down to the attacks, yes, they definitely did have reliance on individuals.
Mm-hmm.
And that has kind of been, I think, the main thing with this side is we need everyone to step up to the mark and everyone have a good performance, everyone have a good shift. I mean, at the moment, it's not a bad spread, considering it's a 4-2 half. So everyone's kind of in the game. Now this is where we really need to see them step up and start to excel.
At this point, we find ourselves in a clashless game, but also the Grim and the Glaz. We've talked about the importance of those sort of like lead-in operators, right? Getting themselves in aggressively, being that front foot. You're expecting to see some Ying selection to play against this, and
I think Speakeasy just on a moonwalk. Oh dear. You know what that means? Yep. There he goes.
Well, we'll probably be
in
a bit of a tech pause in just a second. These things happen. Oh, well. It's a break. To be fair, if there was a perfect time for this to happen, probably now.
Yeah. Halftime break.
Halftime break.
What's on the halftime show?
Everybody get your halftime oranges, please.
What's going to be the adverts this year?
What would you have on a halftime show? What's our music show?
Oh, if I could pick like an artist to perform.
Yeah. We're doing the Parisian.
Ooh.
I mean, there is the official song, but you go first.
That is a good one. That's be Stromae, no? No? Gotta be.
Okay.
He's not actually French. He's Belgian.
I would choose Offenbach featuring Hayward, the song Human.
Not with you.
And which is the official song of SI 2026. You should all watch the music video. It has animation. I mean, they always do, actually. That's probably not the biggest surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Offenbach. Probably not.
I don't know. I think you just...
Okay. My French producer just said down my ear, because they are back often. I'm just going to repeat it.
Well, I mean, I think if you're going for like a halftime show, just get like, I don't know, Beyonce. Everyone likes Beyonce.
Yeah, okay. I think she's a little bit outside the budget.
Oh.
I could call her.
Why not?
Beyonce? It's me again.
I can get in contact with Ed Sheeran. Part of the same club.
Oh yeah, what club is that?
The Hair Club.
The Hair Club. Mm-hmm. I think could you do you know any songs you could sing? And
I could sing.
We could just say we've booked Ed Sheeran and have you perform. If there was the England major, and it's you, everybody, it's Ed Sheeran, right? Yep. And you walk out.
Castle on Hill.
We're in a tech pause. If you are somehow just joining us right now.
Yep. Let us know who you would have at a halftime show.
Okay, that's not what I was going to say, but do let us know. We are so interested. It's 4-2. Weibo leading on Chalet on this side of things. Pretty happy, but I guess what do you want to see from FearX on their defense? On their offense, even.
I mean, straight away, I think that the glaring issue that they've had so far on this map is the lack of trades, where they've been kind of individuals more so than a team, I would say.
Yep.
I think that's been pretty glaring. A lot of the times that Weibo have won their rounds has been pretty comfortable in terms of man advantage, and they've dealt with having that extra man pretty well. So I want to see them work as the unit, work as the team.
Wow. We have our bands. Those are
Oh dear.
different bands. Oops. Well. Wrong band.
Well, back to us, everyone. Back to us. Right, now let's...
So anyway, the musical artist that you would want.
Now, what would the catering be at the halftime show?
Well, okay.
Wolfgang? Can we get him in? Gotta be Wolfgang. Has to be.
I mean, I've eaten already more croissants. Croissant? I've eaten more croissants. I'm doing the... Maria did a croissant.
Or, if you're from Northern Ireland, a croissant.
Or if you're our talent manager, our on-air manager, a croissant.
Yeah.
He's American.
Yeah.
Let's just let that one hang.
Production's gonna just...
Production's gonna get
They're
me.
heaving in the back. Listen to this.
Gonna get me in trouble. Look at how pretty the set all looks. You can see, obviously, so this is the setup. You don't always get this camera, which I really like. So the 4 teams currently playing across A and B stream. They're all playing sort of near each other, but they're side by side against their real opponents. Yeah. So obviously...
The other game is who they sit across from.
Yeah, yeah. So on our left of screen, that is Elevate. They are currently playing Falcons, who will be...
On the other side, of where Elevate are, yeah.
So here is some lovely visual context for
We've
when you...
Weibo on the side that we see closest to us.
Yeah.
And then
you can see FearX in the distance. And this is how they shout at when they turn and they shout at each other. But it does mean when you see them celebrating forwards, it's often... If you have a team and you're opposite your friends, and they're probably not in the middle of a round, like, hey, yeah, like that. Casters is slightly different, actually. I could, if there wasn't a thin wall in the way, I could throw something at the back of James and Pengu's head right now. They're about 20 feet away.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't know, actually.
Quickly, right, how's this? You run on and say something on stream A, and then we'll see if anyone stream B can tell us what you said. It's like quick you can do it.
Oh, no. That would be fun, but I think I would get in trouble.
Nah.
I would always have to... No, it would be fun. I would run it by them as a professional first. But... So that's some cheering. I don't know if you just heard that. That wasn't for us getting into game, but we are probably getting into game in just a moment. That was one of the rounds ending on the other stream. We swing our way around.
Here we go. Third time's a charm.
That's more like it. And we're going to kitchen dining here instead. What are you looking at? You've stepped closer to the monitor.
No, I see the
checking?
castle straight away. The castle's interesting, I think, in the kitchen dining.
Yeah.
Castle, not massively played on a map like Chalet. Yeah, and it's kind of ironic considering I've talked so much about exterior windows, and it would be great, obviously block those off, and the castle would be naturally the operator that you think of whenever it comes to blocking down lines of sight, but it's not something you see too often. I just think if you're going to put them on exterior windows, it's very safe for attackers just to remove them immediately. With a Gone 6, with even if you want to punch a castle barricade from outside, it's fine as well. You know, mostly the interior castles are going to be a little more difficult for the attackers to go about. So I think the exterior ones, yeah, they're there. Most of the time, if I see an exterior window and if I place one, I always think that'll be great if I know that somebody wants to come that way. Because if that gets open, it's like, okay, they're taking library.
Wow, they've opted to get themselves, obviously, as I said it before, you know, you're looking at those pointment entries. You're looking at the limitation of the Glaz and of the Grim. So you sort of get a couple of options there. And Deimos is always a very, very good one in the right hands. Good boy, as I said before, slow start towards the game and in towards the series themselves. Struggled to sort of get his foot on the gas for the first, I think, 5 rounds. Then he gets 2 in the end one. Then he gets this position. It's the best time.
Yeah, and Deimos is a great operator to have on Chalet. Whenever I've mentioned about how you have to pinch people and do the crossfires, if you can Deimos track somebody into somebody else holding the line of sight, it's fantastic.
So, well, you get an extra exothermic, may as well put it on a castle, and then you're just playing old thermite from not too long ago. Gets themselves this opener. It slows them down. You've got one on the connector as well, the sort of the cross of the pass between the site corridors and on towards the bottom of the stairs, and you know, it's just limiting some of this play space. Yeah. The castle is eating utility, and Rin has been eaten by Speakeasy. There goes your lion. There goes another support. There's the swing. What are you doing? Well, you at least get the trade out, but killed by the barb, dropped on either side, and a bit of a tragedy struck quite early here. They're able to find 1 kill out of it, but he's still got his man with the gadgetry, and now swung either side. Well, bit of a false start here. Arpe just popping and locking.
Didn't know he had the reload. He caught mid-reload. He's going to kill the guy, and then he aims and to reload. Oh, no.
5-2.
Yeah, I mean, that's the head scratch of a round. No, like, that is within, what, a minute? They've decided to jump in the site window without actually clearing the site.
It felt like they just weren't prepared for what was going to go on, and maybe it was the timeout and getting back into the momentum, but...
And they also didn't take any of the map.
No.
They have tried to win around by jumping in West Main window and Trophy window.
They used utility to open castles.
And then not push.
And then that is all I saw them... Like, this death to barbed wire, because they just hopped in, not expecting somebody to be the bottom of the stair set is...
And even going for this, even if they got on the trophy, let's say they killed the castle.
Yep.
How do they get the plant down if the Solus is still up?
Yep.
And they're still upstairs, control hatches open.
Demo. I'm not going to be critical because I'm the sugar in the sugar and spice relationship we have as a caster duo. I need you to be critical, and I need you to say FearX just did a really bad attack.
Yeah, they did.
Okay, cool, thank you. But I didn't say it. I didn't say it. I'm sugar. You're spice.
That's fine.
The people love me.
Do you know what it's like? It's like, you ever seen where it's like the kid's sleeping and the army guy's just there in front taking all of the ammunition.
I sleep so soundly. Never irritating anyone. They're going to see if they can maybe try and not remove the castles this time around and go for the pressure elsewhere. First of all, you just hope that they pay more focus elsewhere first.
Well, they've brought the shields in. They've brought the blitz in. And obviously this is an operator that, you know, we know that FearX, they'll play. They played a lot yesterday. They were playing the blitz. I believe it warranted a ban as well. Didn't Heretics ban it in one of the maps?
Yeah, I mean, they're good with it, but I think Heretics were just struggling to deal with it. I don't think Weibo have the problem. I mean, they just absolutely knocked a Blackbeard aside.
Well, they've got the Echo as well, which is great against the shields, so that they really shouldn't have an issue with it. It just depends how well the Ying is going to be placed, because, I mean, there's not much to really stop the Ying. There's nothing really to stop the Ying.
No, and the Ying's about to try and make the first friend. There's the roll. There's the push behind it. They're just slamming their way through the controller bedroom, and Weibo can just leave. They don't need to stay there. The Solus is underneath getting the read on who might be approaching, but think about where the site is and what we've just seen used to get control of Solarium. That's just to get yourself in the building.
Yeah, exactly, and it's isn't even the off-site setup. We still have to go through that shield and blue, all of the util, the banshees, everything that goes into that top floor hold. That's going to be the issue for them, but, I mean, look, they use, what, 1 Ying? It's not a crazy amount of util. They still got the nades to get rid of the shield. They've still got plenty of flashes. You've got the smokes that, obviously, the Blitz brings in, which I know that's why they like bringing the Blitz, is you get to have the smoke grenades worked into your lineup.
So now they can try and utilize this shield and put the pressure on towards that shield position. We can hear some of the wall being popped open. Get yourself a second angle. Get yourself a second read through. And still get some width. A minute. And now they're going to start trying to learn what's inside library.
Yeah, I think they might try and rotate and put a little bit of kind of split pressure now, because if everything's going to be flooding in through kind of office and piano...
Please don't.
Please what?
Well, I thought he was just about to stand there and...
Yeah, this is what I like to see. Using the blitz on the other side. Make it so you're... You see the shield? Then has to drop straight away. He knows he can't do anything against that operator.
That's it. Now, they do have the angle underneath, but again, it's sort of a step-by-step process, right? I think Weibo have had them play into every line of this defense, and that leaves FearX with not a huge amount of time. Ooh, hiding in the corner where the plant goes together. That's really going to try and catch them by surprise.
They've all dropped off. They've completely left the top floor. Nobody's dead yet. Now they just have to defend the site.
Yep. And this is it. It's sort of step for step, the perfect play here for Weibo, but 20 seconds left, all 10 players. We are about to have a bit of an explosion on the site. There's the first bit of damage done. Mephi, the Ying, goes down on the stairs, and there's the swing round. Rin and Goodboy find one apiece with Arpe, slowing it down. There's the off-piece position I talked about. Skis his way through to a triple. Tries to find the fourth. It's swung round either side. Potted in the corner of billiards, but no kit, no time, no body, no round.
Great hold from Weibo. They stand strong. The Echo as well. He comes in big in the late stage of the round. I mean, Weibo, we talk about layers. We talk about how well you can peel off a hold. They done the double peel. They peeled off in towards bedroom. Then they peel off in towards their library hold. And then there's 30 seconds and there's no kills on the board. 30 seconds, 5 men to find. FearX out of time.
The first person to go down in that engagement as well was still down at the end. Like, it just shows how there was no breathing room. There was so much pressure Weibo was still reapplying here that even with this engagement, they didn't have time to get up the down player. Mephi was just, like, injured on the way in and had to sit out the rest of the team fight. And it's going well.
It's going good. Vibes are high.
Vibes are high, a little bit stressy.
Not as much talk as what I would have thought from this kind of game. I mean, has Turd said anything? Which it's unusual for him.
I think Turd has only said stuff to the re-host. Like, Turd hasn't said anything to FearX, but has said stuff about the re-host. Being slightly wrong. Anyway, 6-2. This is Weibo's map. It's always worth saying. We had stolen maps, traded maps, and taken maps yesterday.
Yeah, weird day yesterday.
Weird day.
A lot of permabans were actually being shown in some of the games.
But at this point, if FearX can just tally themselves, 1 round, 2 rounds, even if they lose the map, I think they need to get a little bit more.
Yeah, well, they need to try and get the morale, because the 7-2, it's you're thinking, what are we doing? You know, it's not a great map for you at all. And also, it means that they won't win an attack, and that's kind of been the issue that we've seen from them, is getting the attacks on the board. So, yeah, it's important now for FearX to try and build as much momentum as they can, but just the way Weibo are operating this, I mean, they've been in steady control throughout the whole game.
Well, there's the hit, a bit of a stun as they pop their way in towards, well, they seem to want a bit of split pressure, but it's into the kitchen underneath. 3 players to be found here, either side. They're swinging their way in and driving, and there's Arpe in the kitchen, serves up the double, and now Amonte all alone, reaps through the wall. I'll just go next. Wookie Man does find Reaps, but it's little to help the blood flowing out across these boards. Rin, all alone, hoping to try and get an exit, a little bit of commiseration. This is probably where we're going to get type.
Yeah, I mean, they've been ready for everything. Again, they've tried the Force Away and free trophy using the shields and just been battered back every single time. Ape, what a map from him, by the way. 13-5 within, what's that, 9 rounds? There we go. It's actually Ape. See, he has infected everyone else, Turd. Doesn't have to do it anymore.
I mean, I think everyone is aware how this map is going to go, and, you know, there's an Echo drone outside getting stuns. There's a map. There's a map taken pretty cleanly by Weibo, and it was their map. They had the momentum. They love playing Chalet, and they've just shown why. But It's a series of 3 maps, and, well, there's still uphill for FearX, and unfortunately they'll be starting the next on their attack as well.
Yeah, great map from Weibo, and really no issues. I mean, that is just clean, comfortable. I mean, you've seen the reaction. They won that map. It's just, yeah, simple enough. Go next.
I think it's always the thing about the sort of growth you get into a Series 2. It's still early. It's the second time in a row they're playing that sort of opening game of the day, FearX. Their break day is tomorrow, and the series isn't done yet, but they're probably wanting a day to just decompress, to take the stress of these first ones off, to take themselves off together and see where they can go next. But I guess it's always that element, right?
Yeah, you have to just keep it moving. You look at the scoreboard, yeah, I mean, Ape, phenomenal. I don't think that it wasn't 11-5, finished 13-5. So, got 2 kills in that last round, and yeah, not great on the side of FearX. No real positivity there.
Now, at this point, when you sort of see the growth and you see where they can possibly go from here as well, as you said, Ape had a brilliant game, but you're looking at people like Turd and, you know, Reap's 9-4. It's fun to look at that and be like, yeah, he can do better. And he probably will do better. Yeah. And that's the worry when you have a longer series, is you will have more people show up from that roster. You'll have more people get their heads in and get themselves together. And again, we still have the problem from the other team, but as they do, we get a quick break as well. So we'll be back after a little bit with map 2.
Available now.
Welcome back here on towards B. Beautiful, bloody brilliant Siege, Bravo stream, and other B-based words. But we will be actually going to D. Dostoevsky as our second map in this showdown. Also D. Democast is here with me. Yay, they love that.
I don't know if that's for me.
Oh, it might be. Well, probably not.
I think that's
actually,
because the Falcons Elevate game is quite the game, I hear.
Is it quite the
Yeah,
game?
it is.
Ooh, well,
I mean, they're still in their first map, so that kind of tells you what you need to know.
I mean, it's a lot of growth from Elevate from how things went yesterday.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
hey, talking about growth, fortunately, it's more of the same here for these two teams. Weibo, solid first map, had control. FearX got 2 rounds in their defense and then just could not get an attack over the line. Here, Dostoevsky, different map, their place that they would rather get themselves locked in, and they're opening on their defense yet again. But it gives them a chance to just try and get something solid under the board. If this does go away from them, especially with Elevate, taking potential points away from their opponents spells a little bit of disaster potentially here for the Korean side.
Yeah, Cafe. It's a map I think both teams are more than happy to play. I mean, I kind of said that about all 3 maps. They're more than happy to do so. Last time FearX, they played Cafe, it was back in December up against Chiefs, and it was a 7-2 win for them. So the last time they played it, it was a win. Whereas for Weibo, on the other hand, a map that gets banned against them a lot. You know, teams do not want to play Weibo here, and that's for good reason. You think about the playstyle of that team, you think about how aggressive they can get, and the way that they kind of roam around like this a pack who just wants to beat up anything that moves. You know, that's the way they maneuver around the map. So yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense why you don't want to play them at Cafe, but FearX, they're going to go for it.
Good luck to him. I think it's always the sort of mentality, right? You want to try and challenge things. And to be fair, yesterday, if we're talking about things that you don't want to do and things you want to do, one of the sort of cardinal rules of Siege is don't bring out your permaban unless you've got something for it. And we, in both our games, had 2 permabans that both teams who usually ban it won. So maybe now is the SI of changing things up. Maybe now is the time in Paris, the city of love, of the Eiffel Tower, of...
The Arc de Triomphe?
There you go. I prompted Demo to say the third thing there, and...
Was that what you wanted? Did I get it right? Is that?
Yeah, that is here.
Oh,
yes.
good. Oh,
Yeah, that
thankfully.
is...
Ran
here.
across that, right?
Big arch. What?
Yeah, ran across it.
The top.
No, it was in like the roundabout, like the 7 lane
Oh.
of traffic. Apparently you're not allowed to do that. We didn't know that. And do you know whose fault it was? Do you know who convinced me to do it?
Who?
Ian Chambers. So we can blame him.
To be fair, if anyone could get away with it, Ian Blimmin Chambers.
Whenever I say 7 lane, I mean like cars were not
Yeah,
stopping.
yeah,
We
oh.
were like, you know, the Crossy Road.
Yeah.
That's what it was like.
No, have you seen John Wick, the one where it's shot partially in Paris and he has a fight in that area and cars just keep hitting him? Spoiler alert for John Wick. There is a fight scene in active traffic and the cars just keep driving and people were like, this is so unrealistic.
Yeah.
No, that's just how they how they
they
drive
won't
here.
stop
If
for
you're
anyone.
in the road, good luck. Anyway, bans as we get ourselves in towards Cafe here. The Grim and the Blitz are removed. Weibo will not have those on their active sort of duty in the roster, but Speakeasy is going to swap towards the Blackbeard anyway.
Yeah, this is the issue. There's more than one shield these days, so it's fine to use. And you know, you look at the defensive bans, Castle makes a lot of sense. You think about the shot holds that we like to see in towards that top floor, even areas downstairs in towards kitchen. You think about the prep hold that people do inside a wedding. And then Source, yeah, general, overall great operator, a lot of verticality, plenty of information, pretty compact and small maps, so you'll get good value in seeing where people are going to be placing their drones, for example. So, here we are. Weibo on the attack, first of all. Looks as though that they're set up immediately for a cocktail take. There's 2 players on the windows, just opening them all up, applying that pressure. But, as we know, if you want to try and go for the cocktail take, you need to clear players who are inside a C1, C2, and C3. And typically that's done via nades, or you send someone below like a buck, and you try and root them out from downstairs.
Yeah, I mean, there's multiple solutions to this kind of puzzle, but the use of utility and forcing positions is actually one of the best things.
It's going to be a hatch drop. They're just going to flash and sense and smoke everything out and jump and go for the plant.
Well, they're going for the plant. The Blackbeard's looking for the first engagement, but they need to have coverage. They need to win it sooner rather than later. They get to. They've got one more man inside the freezer itself who pops out. drifts and drives on by, but Weibo just keep the pressure up, make sure that they stay that first engagement ahead. The Clash gives themselves some cover, sets themselves up, is hoping and waiting for some support. More grenades will get the separation here and force the Clash tucked in the corner of the shop. Swing round with the shotgun, can't quite get it. The drift and the drive on by against the gridlock, but the plant is being secured in the meantime. Keep them at bay, stop, breathe, wait. This is great play from Turd. This one player just held up both of them. Now they've got a plant secured, a post-plant with a shield itself, and they're still just looking and hoping they can swing round. But Turd finally got rid of 30 seconds and a precious window to get the plant in. So the Clash has to roll up. It's a shield and a shield up against each other, feeding the information to Reaps and then to Rin. Rin is the first to suffer, goes down. Now they just got to drive at the Clash, and they do. Weibo. It was closer than they would have liked, but it's still around for them.
Yeah, they went for the Skylight drop, and I think that's because they got the information that, okay, there is a Clash inside a piano. That's the no-go zone. We're not going anywhere near top red. We're going to have issues with that shield. Let's go where she isn't. Let's just drop into the site. You know, they done the drone work really well. They discovered what the weak points were. They straight away and they noticed, because there's one guy freezer, there's one guy playing in towards the rotate in the back of Cocktail. If we drop and kill him, we're in, and there's nothing that can really challenge us. And like you mentioned, Turd did a great job at holding them at bay. Great patience. Didn't need to overpeak. He just needed to wait until that diffuser went down.
So, another first round loss here on their defense, unfortunately for FearX. This, again, just doing a little bit to delay the time as well. It was great work in the freezer position, swinging out, and Reaps had the cross, had the angle, and they had a post plant. As soon as that balance of time pressure shifted from one side to the other, I don't think FearX made wrong decisions trying to close down the player inside Cigar Shop, double up with the Clash. It's 2 versus 3. You know they've got a shield. You don't want to be caught out in a similar situation. They can build a 2 versus 1 easier against you than you against them, but they just got a little bit too stuck on that corner on top red. And, oh well, you move on. New site, new rotation, new year, new me, who dis? Still FearX, actually. That doesn't change. Well.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Not all the time. So, here we go. See how they want to approach now into our next bomb site, which is going to be in towards that mid floor. And, well, they've got the Ying this time around. Didn't bring it in whenever they were going for that Skylight drop, but going to see the Yings be used to clear away roamers upstairs. And great little pinch, speak easy. I mean, there's been a lot of kills today in this series where players just sat outside and picked up kills because they've pinched so well today. Weibo, they've been fantastic at it.
It's that element that we were sort of missing from the side of FearX, right? Yeah. They are playing against FearX's defense. They're making sure that when they apply pressure, they know sort of where things are going to boil over. FearX, the first round on the previous when they were attacking, they just threw themselves in. They didn't really pay respect towards the hold, and look what it's opened up for them. All right, Arpe's got himself in towards Pillar. We get the blinds and the pressure and all the smoke and fire on the top floor right now. It's all popping off. They're trying to dig themselves in on towards C3s on the side of the Cocktail, and he's still able to find it. That's 2 on the top floor here. Now Mephi's in a lot of danger, but Woogieman has the cover, and Mephi's got the rotate, but he gets downed. In the meantime, a 3 versus 2. We're in the mirror of the previous round, but we get a breath, a settle. Think about what they have right now, though. The verticality over the top, and they've removed a lot of the utility inside the site.
However, it's going to be that Clash. That is going to be the issue, and you're a man down. So in terms of, Clash doesn't have the gun, doesn't really count as a gun being up. In this case, it doesn't matter. You're going to have that shield. You have the man advantage. Diffuser still needs to be rotating collected. It's still outside the balcony, so someone has to do that job. And with 50 seconds left, I was going to say I don't see how they do this unless peaks start going their way, and Woogieman's just peeked in the Speakeasy. I
mean, Speakeasy drove himself up towards a 9C. Now they know where Coated is as well. And look, I talked about the doubling down. Nice. Exactly. This is what I said FearX were doing well, and Weibo were just doing exactly the same thing. The Clash doing their best to cut the cross. They've made it into another 2 versus 2 fight, but the smoke means that they can just drive in. Where do you go? Here, Good Boy has the fight on one side and finds it now. Picks the Clash up, 20 seconds. Get out of there. Pull yourself back. They don't have the kit. Puts it on his back so he can't be shot. Tucks the corner, reloads. Find a safe second. Back towards the shield, in towards Laundry, but he hasn't got a rotate. Deploys, redeploys. Oh, it's so close. Speakeasy! Pops the ankle with the shorty.
Oh, that's a quad, I think. 4 kills for him in that round. Wow. Honestly, it just shows how high level we're playing. And it's the minuscule. I'm going to go really microscopic into what won him that. He baited going for the rotate in towards Laundry. You see that the Clash thought, oh, he's coming in for the rotate. I'm going to set my shield up facing the rotate. But then all of a sudden, he doubles back. He comes in through the reading door. He then has to get out the animation, go, and by the time he's ready to go back into the shield animation, he's already right beside him. Just the tiniest thing. Honestly, that is what we're dealing with.
I mean, there was the opening great take. And again, things like that opening body going away from them.
Well, he missed the Candela, else he would have killed the guy in back cocktail.
Yep.
Look at this. Oh, well, we don't see it. But honestly, if you go back and you look at it, just that little, I don't even say hesitation, but just that little moment, that was it.
I mean, it's always going to be frustrating. It's going to be frustrating. You are down to the wire, a 1 versus 1, and just little moments. Off towards kitchen, though. And Weibo, they've got themselves 2 rounds in a row. FearX aren't a million miles away from taking them, but that is the problem, right? That's the separation. It's Weibo are solving those problems. Weibo aren't being gifted the end of these rounds. They're making sure that they can take them. The doubling up on towards the pressure towards the train room, getting the smoke to separate those two, even in that narrow engagement. It's just really, really nice. Comms, coordination, communication.
The adaptation, where things maybe haven't went to plan. Yep. The way that they've been able to calculate, okay, what do we do now with what we have at our disposal? So impressive. Honestly, today, this Weibo team have put in one heck of a showing. I'm sitting there thinking, M80, be careful.
Well, Speakeasy will at least sit this round out. Not quite able to get the opening kill, and there goes the Sense. Won't have the ROUs when they go for the site attack. Harpe does get good, boys, so no Kibas to try and build a defense, and the cams are going to be in their possession.
Yeah, really good pick early on, getting the Dokkaebi hack. And there are bulletproofs downstairs. I mean, you can see that Rin has brought one into the fray of things.
Oh, maybe they won't get the cams.
Oh, dear.
Okay, that's 2 kills. Gone in towards the favor here, and FearX have stopped playing. They sort of put the peaks back in the aggression. We said that they can do this. The Deimos goes for the track, and they're all back to the site. They do find Mephi. They do get things leveled up, and Coated is going to slip their way back in from the front door. It's 2 bits of control, but it's not a solid bit of control.
Yeah, I mean, still good operators here, I think, for Weibo to make something happen. You've still got the verticality you can use with a sledge. If Hoven can try and pick off like a Banshee or a Fenrir, now you open up a potential kind of solo walk in through a door that maybe FearX is thinking, oh, that's going to be safe. We know we've got gadgetry there. So that's also massive. So already that guy inside of restaurant, I'm thinking he needs to be so careful now because he doesn't have that security off the traps.
The one thing that they do have for the Executor, the smokes inside the pocket of Hoven. So where they decide to try and roll those in, if they use them to cross a divide, as you can do, say you're looking towards, you know, VIP, you don't want to have the fight there, or into the side itself.
Woogie Man needs to be very careful. He needs to try and protect his man inside a restaurant, but they've left Coat open and he slipped in and picked up the kill!
Oh! Gets the double, swings round for the 3rd, Deimos! Problems put up and problems solved.
I feel as though we should just put, you know, just a whole bunch of Siege problems and see if they can figure it out. Because they are getting everything right. Everything. FearX just don't know.
No, it's
where
great.
Did they go?
It's this is almost the element, right? Is we sort of said this coordination, this problem is something that strikes FearX. This is the problem that they've been trying to get under their sort of roster's belt and on their sort of ability to deploy, because that adaptation is what they struggle with. The timeout obviously comes in here in the sort of 3-0 situation, or the 0-3. And, you know, there was that sort of round in the middle where they were close, but it's otherwise just still dragging their heels, struggling to have that final little bit of energy. And Weibo with 3 attacks on their cafe on FearX's map. FearX struggle with their attacks already. This could be a 2-0 in not too much more siege.
Now we know why teams do not let Weibo on this map. Now we discover why. Yeah, just a great performance. And it's just that problem solving that it's left me in awe today. Really has. Great performance. I mean, look, still not over yet.
No.
But the way things are going, you'd be pretty wild to predict against them at this stage. So let's see if they can keep it moving. We'll see if the timeout helped. But they're just Weibo just look under no stress at all. Like, they are just vibing. They're just chilling, you know? Like, even big rounds like this, where I think, wow, that is incredible to win this round, just looks pretty chill. Like, Turd, no reaction. Just, look, big round, one like that, 3v3, go 3-0 up.
Do you know what?
Nothing.
This game for Weibo, with the sort of pressure on these players, if you talk about them as a sort of wider team, where they've been, what they've been able to do on stages, you expect them to hit main stage. You expect them to be one of the sort of forefront teams of the entire region.
I mean, I think they've been the best APAC team for the past 2 years.
Exactly.
I do. I think the players that they have has been incredible.
And that is dictated by winning your expected games. FearX, they have had expectations on them. They've had players with amazing runs on different rosters. They have not had a great year. They weren't able to sort of get to SI last year.
Reload filled us with a lot of confidence that sadly dwindled very quickly.
I mean, Reload was an event unto itself.
Yeah.
Obviously, there were things that changed.
But it was still Siege at its raw form.
It was still raw. It's still Siege. You're still getting in. But either way, as an expected game, as an expected result, the reason they're so calm, cool, and collected is because, well, they need to be. This isn't the game that Weibo's thinking about. They're thinking about beating M80 and seeing what happens. And it's going to be a heck of a game when we get to it. But here, after a timeout, FearX, what have they learnt? What lessons were taught to them by Dark behind? They're ready to sort of cover. Remember last time we were playing on the top floor with this sort of positioning. We had a lot of back and forth. We had a lot of quick, snappy executes. Here it seems like Weibo, they're doing the math. They're running the numbers. They're getting themselves ready to try and enter top red, drop the hatch. Hoven is off to the races and, ooh, slips his way on by. Almost found the first engagement in the core of the floor, but couldn't quite knock the head out in time and had to pull back because of the Fenrir mine. There's another one caught out. But there's nobody to directly respond to it. They have currently left the kit on the roof above the hatch itself, and, well, they better hope that they don't forget that.
Oh, Boogeyman. Up with the cave on the hatch just to try and keep himself a little bit safe inside a train. But I'm not entirely sure that's really what Weibo are after. I think they just want the top floor control, and then we'll start using the verticality, and then as we know the way this bomb site goes, you just jump in through train window and go for the plant.
The thing is, right, they haven't really done a lot to take top floor, and top floor's been given to them.
Yeah.
There's nobody that's contesting it.
It's that phantom pressure. The windows get opened, you feel claustrophobic.
Yeah.
I think that's what scared them off.
But think about what has all been dedicated up there. All the hard walls, all the
see the
reinforcements. They swing round, and RP gets coated, tucked on the close corner. It's not the side itself, but it is a phone, and the Dokkaebi should be able to get that, but they're not playing chances just yet. Instead, slow their way in, and now they get even more terrain, even more control. There's pings coming through. The speakeasy with the catch. And it's just, they've tried a different game. They've tried to play keep away, but Weibo is so good at catching these players. There's one slightly down white stairs, trying to be as quiet as possible. There's the reveal of the camera. Woogieman takes a bit of damage elsewhere. They're going to have to pull themselves back. There goes Rin. There's at least a C4 on towards Arpe, but Woogieman, okay, gets himself a second, doing bits behind the bomb chassis, but he's under too much pressure. And that leaves just Good Boy alone. 18 seconds, does get the shield. Oh, can't quite get away. You could see the idea, but the reactivity, so sharp.
They never stop moving. You know, Weibo, it's never, even if they lose somebody, it's not the case, you know, where some teams, if they lose somebody, they stop and they wait until they get things collected again. They just keep it going. You look at the way that they attack the top floor, then straight down into pillar control, straight into reading, pushing across the corridors, into the bomb site, always moving throughout the map and making issues for FearX. 4-0. I mean, that's another bomb site that they've won. There's a different bomb site. Obviously, FearX now, they're really up against it if we're choosing train as the defensive choice.
I mean, they sort of had to try something different, right? We obviously had a full sort of expression of the foresights on Chalet as well. It just feels like they don't have the idea of how to beat this team. And that's, you know, it's a worry, it's a problem, fine. But that's what happens. When you have a team pick all four sides back-to-back on the two maps whilst taking their timeouts early, utilizing as much as they can, it doesn't bode well for the game that's put ahead of them. It's almost this element that, as unfortunate as it is to say, Weibo are just playing better. There's not a counter strat. There's not a book you can play against that because, as you said, they're moving. Their trade game is good. Their reading is good. All of these fundamentals are coming together, and FearX, unfortunately, just can't match that pace right now. It's, you know, it's a shame. But also, look at that. It's just instant, right? They have every single thing ironed out already. And, well, Mephi does slip his way down below. But Weibo have been another class today.
Yeah, trying to get him up, that's going to be the tricky thing. And, oh, they're trying it, but you see that Reaps is located in towards
Just
heaven.
gives them a second.
And there's another one, and there's the down. So, yeah, straight away. And this is the same point I made at Chalet. There's 2 kills within the first minute, no response.
3.
Where's
kills.
the trades?
3 kills within
Where
the
are
first
they?
minute. Hey, there's one. Just in time for the first minute.
Oh, there we go. Look, see, look. They've got a kill, and straight away, Weibo have traded it back.
Yeah.
That sums it up for me.
Well, Speaky's going to get the plant down. You know, and again, Good Boy's going to do his best to try and bite in. It's almost, yeah, FearX is struggling. I think it's super fair to say that. But Weibo are playing brilliantly.
They're great.
It's
absolutely
so
fantastic.
Good.
It's the confidence, the body language. It's just coming. It's just it's like a 9 to 5. They've clocked in.
Yep.
They've sat at their desk. They've done their job. They've clocked out, and then they've went home.
It's a great. It's been a great 2 maps of Siege.
I just, you sit there and you think about Weibo as well, and obviously, I mean, they've had their fair share of roster, you know, struggles throughout the years. I mean, there was obviously the period where Turd wasn't on the team, and then they brought him back into the fold. They had Leader and Noodle on the team at one point as well, so they have had chops and changes, and then obviously the most recent pickers that they've had was Ape, who has been absolutely stellar, by the way, and then Speakeasy is the other one, who's a very experienced player whenever we look at APAC as a whole. He's been around for quite a while, but you've always had that core of, really, let's be honest, it was always Hoven, Reaps, and Turd. That's been the core, and those 3 players have always stuck at it, and they've been consistently good. I mean, Hoven is very consistent player. Like, he's rarely off the game. He's always on it. He always is there. He always has a good performance. Reaps, the talent that guy. I mean, the team is stacked. You think, are they going to kick on here and get the main stage, as you mentioned, because they very well could if they keep this pace up.
I think that's the thing, right? It's a joy to watch.
Yeah.
Okay, as a FearX fan, it's tough to watch.
You can put this down and people will say, of course people will say, it was only FearX. I don't care.
It doesn't matter.
You play what's in front of you,
Yeah.
and the way that they're playing, it is perfect Siege.
Yeah. They're locked in. So locked in that we haven't even really seen all chat.
Maybe that's the Gohan effect. Gohan said, Turd, I've been there. Don't get yourself down this hole. You start getting a reputation.
Yeah. Well, either way, I mean, Rin being shut out of pretty much the entire series. Good Boy as well. Coasted, hasn't been able to have any moments throughout it. It does also talk of the familiarity of Weibo with their opponents, with FearX. Yeah. They're aware of how to shut them down.
They know the APAC teams.
They know the APAC teams. Yeah. And they know, obviously, the top dog APAC teams because they often play each other in last chance qualifiers, if there is
the crossover episodes.
The crossover episodes. Here goes the drive of the Monty all the way across the top floor, but they didn't expect Good Boy hiding on towards Whiskey. Gets the Mistrone, gets a kill. All right. That's the Monty. Gone. That's the kit. Put in a bit of an awkward place, but it's the response of RP. Swings for the double! Are you kidding me? Went to Lumber, built a house, and said, this is mine. Now you lot can leave. Just a perfect response. And now, well, we get this flawless half. They've got the 4-3. They've got loads of time. They've got the verticality. And they've got all the gadgetry to make this come together.
Yeah, I mean, the SMG-12, I mean, that's the flare gun, isn't it? That's the trickster's weapon of choice. And whenever you pull off shots like that, it just looks so sweet. And again, they're still moving. They're still pushing their way into parts of the map that is open for them. Again, FearX, look at the map control. They've had to leave Pillar. They've had to leave Reading. Sure, you don't have the shield this time, but you still have that man advantage that Weibo can utilize.
Rin does find Hoven, levels things up, and now you don't have the scent, but you have at least one frag grenade and then some great guns. and a lion charge. That is what they're going to build behind. But as Turd finds Coated, maybe this is the isolation we talked about. That game coming together, they know that there's probably going to be somebody around the chassis just pre-firing and almost catching one. They've got the pings on the player in train, so here's that isolation. There goes 1 and 2. This isn't, no, incorrect. This is great siege. It's beautiful to watch.
Gohan, he summed it up. Yeah.
It's beautiful
Fantastic.
siege to watch.
I mean, Gohan and other characters came back. You know, kind of went under the radar. A lot of people didn't know that he is now back in the scene coaching this side. And straight away, you can see, I can see the effect in terms of the mental side of things. I mean, Turd not typing in chat, is that down to Gohan? Has he kind of reined them in? Maybe. You don't know.
It's rocky. Between the sort of game yesterday and the game today, I mean, desperately they need that day off, which they get tomorrow. But think about what else is on the cards for them. They've still got to get M80. They've still got to get, you know, through NIP.
It's just the Brazilian influence, you know. I come back to that. You made the point, only 2 teams without a Brazilian in it, you know.
Teams.
Because don't forget, Weibo, they had Julio.
Yeah.
Whenever, you know, they were known as Bleed. That's whenever Julio was there, and then he got the offer to move to Falcons, and he took that job, but he was there, he was on that team, and he done wonders with it as well. You know, he really brought them into the fold. We've seen the improvement from them, and I think Gohan's just been carried on with really what Julio would lay down.
6-0. And can they make this 7-0? I believe it would be the first 7-0 of the tournament. And they were very close yesterday, to be fair, Weibo. They got the 7-1 yesterday, and I mean, just this.
Love it. Yeah.
Wow. There was, you know, pressure on the white window as well. You could see that the line was in that position. It's that network of players. It's that network of guns. It's that network of making sure that we have each other's back. We have this positional awareness, and
10 seconds remaining.
Brilliant intel game as well. Obviously, we don't get the full read on it, but the knowledge that is in the pockets of Weibo and their approaches has been so sharp.
Yeah.
Right? They seem to always have the intel. They have the drone. They have the knowledge.
They always know what to do. They always know where they're going. They know what they're up against. I mean, one thing, they misdrone the mod, and that's the only real, I don't want to say mistake because they still won the round, but the only little thing you can say.
I mean, it is a mistake, but they still won the round regardless.
Yeah.
But it's also the sort of pressure on towards it of then you went to swing on towards the player on the sort of top right set and just put together. Mephi scares Hoven away. Isn't going to quite get the peak, and well, he's instead going to try and drift his way past onto Skylight, all the way back to Cocktail. Now, this first kill is going to be an important one for the side of FearX. You do worry at this point in the series with how it's gone and how deep it is. Uh-oh. I'm still going to finish my point. That they're going to be a bit scared and nervous. Rin is the player that often isn't, but there goes your line, and there goes your entry.
Yeah, I mean, Reaps has just had a punt. He swung the big the big window over towards Restaurant and found the kill onto the Lion. Down goes the nades, which would have been great to have whenever we consider the Goyo on board. I mean, that's going to be a bit of a problem too. Using the Echo as information to gain on the outside balcony and perhaps the window. So now they know that there's a player outside in the train balcony. They can now try and set up accordingly to that.
I mean, again, this information network, utilizing the Echo drones, getting them outside, having them all over the building. You obviously get the extra one now as well. You can just get so much from it, and it gives them this full awareness of the information game of their
opponents. The flank drones and stuff like that, yeah.
They know the flank drones. They also know what FearX are currently actively working towards, the control that they want, and you can use that to read through. Are you going to... Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Give them a little bit of a surprise when they find their way back through, but... You know, it's still steady work.
Yeah, it just re-barricades that. He knows that Safety's used the Echo Cam, and now if somebody wants to try and pressure Bakery, they're going to have to open that again, and then he'll know, oh, somebody's coming to Bakery.
Getting ready utility. I mean, FearX are getting some of this sort of odd jobs done.
Oh,
goodbye, Echo. Speakeasy, a little bit too visible in that position. And the pressure here, it's that Bakery door. You can see Mephi on the split trying to hit through on towards the player behind Bake, but he's, you know, it's Alpe. He's got those discs, keep himself alive for as long as possible. And all threaded round the side of the Monty gets his toes. Arpe gets the rest. The fire will buy them some time. A 3-2. Coated gets his third for the round. However many rounds he has clutched out, he's still doing his best, but 25 seconds, he's above. They don't have the kit. They're trying to push their way in towards the side itself. There's the vertical con. There is 20 seconds. They still have Bake. They don't have anything else. Our first 7-0. And it is APAC on APAC violence as Weibo play one of the most beautiful Dostoevskys I've seen.
Yeah, great little support structure then, the 2v3. He knows, or Weibo know that it's all about the guy inside of Bakery. He stops that push coming in. Where can Bakery be exposed from? Somebody jumping in wedding window. Where does the other teammate go? Red stairs. He can cover the wedding window. He can cover the buck if he comes down the stairs. He was there ready for both of them to support one another. The support structure today from Weibo, exceptional.
FearX, you can see how sort of despondent they are. It was a must-win with how the result went yesterday. This result against a team that they should know very well and should put up more of a fight just got absolutely washed away, and they have their day off tomorrow. They have time to talk, to get their mental back together, to reconvene, because if anything, that's what's holding them back. There's fear, there's problems, and there's now 2 losses to their name. Weibo, but brilliant. Just brilliant, yeah. Brilliant Siege. And, I mean, what else could you really want?
I mean, it looks a whitewash. I mean, 7-0 in that fashion. The kills as well. I mean, everyone on Weibo had a part to play in that. Yep. Nobody was really dragging their heels. Everyone was there. What can you say about FearX, who really stood out?
It's the really hard thing because I love FearX. I love the team. I love the possibility of FearX. I love theoretical FearX. It just never comes to reality on the big stage. And that's the big problem, right? Yesterday...
You've just described being a G2 fan, by the way. Thank you.
Well, they're still yet to do more playing. But either way, this is the sort of problem with them, is we didn't get good by activating. We can't get Rin activating in a game that's going to massively rely on firefights. Yeah. We didn't have any of the sort of clutch energy that they had yesterday. Think about map 1. You know, you're talking about Turd not being in the all chat. FearX were even more timid.
This is the worry with what we seen yesterday. We mentioned they took the map against Heretics because 2 individuals stepped up massively and saved them and pulled them out of the mud. That's not sustainable Siege. It never has been, ever will be. And this is the result of it. If you don't consistently show up, and let's say you have the life game in one game, but then let's say somebody says, oh, but you won't have that for another 9. That's not going to cut it.
No. And that's sort of the problem here. You can see on the split, obviously Reaps again, I think it was 9-4 on the first map, 9-3 on this, and 100% cost across all 7. But Woogie Man, the only one really to get in. And across the whole series as well, when you sort of get the bigger picture, it sort of just paints it more blatantly. Good boy, as I said, really struggling. Rin as well. Both of them sitting around 63 APS. Ape was... both of theirs put together plus a bit extra, right? It's just how much further. 20-9 across this series. Reaps 19-8. Tough. Yeah. Tough.